Hello and welcome to That Seems Unfortunate, the show where we talk about all the interesting events, gaming, and music news with heaps and piles of sarcasm. I'm Chris Vittorio and I'm here with Steven Bridenstine. How you doing, Steve?
Doing good. It's good to be back for a second rousing episode.
After 3 days.
Yeah.
2, 3. I'm losing
quick
track
break.
of time.
Quick break, and now we're back with more things that people I'm sure care about at some point.
Maybe.
Alright. So, first thing on the agenda for the day. It is only a short 9 days before All Hallows Eve, or Halloween, as those
If
call
you're
it.
dirty
Yeah.
American.
If you appreciate the red, white, and blue.
Call it Halloween.
Yeah.
And
You excited for Halloween? Are you a Halloween person?
I
I'm
actually am
kind
a
of
Halloween person. I enjoy Halloween quite a bit because I don't care. I'm 19 years old, alright? But if the opportunity arises for me to go and get free candy from strangers, I'm taking the free candy from strangers.
That's fair. So you're like a candy person? Like you're just in it for the candy?
I mean, okay, I get to look creepy, like I do,
Yeah.
every day, but like substantially, more.
That's fair.
I get free candy,
Yeah.
but this year, if you go as a clown, you might possibly get shot by the people trying to give you candy.
Yeah. It's like we get all the fun of a normal Halloween, but this time with infinitely more clowns. Everyone's favorite thing.
It's literally
just when you
Halloween
thought
roulette.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any more cliche to dress up as a clown on Halloween, it suddenly got even less original, which is
And
really
now they're
impressive.
killing people.
Yeah. Well, I used to be a big candy kid. Like when I was a child, I was like huge on. Well, when I was a small child, now I'm just a giant child. I was like really big on candy, but I don't really see it as candy anymore because I just eat candy. As a college student, candy is just part of your daily diet.
It is.
So like, I don't really get any more candy. Like I have a pantry kind of thing in my room, and it's just filled with like Oreos and candy corn and like just bags of candy. So I mean, the candy part's kind of already covered for me. I'm more of like it's nice to be spooky and somber for a day. Well, not somber, but like a happy somber, to put it in a way that
I had a bit of a
sense.
meeting with my friends yesterday, and in the spirit of Halloween, while we were meeting and doing our thing, someone decided to pull out their tablet, and you just hear spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine, and I'm like, oh no, they're playing the song.
I guess that would make the best part of Halloween would be the fact that that song gets played more often, and that's a wonderful song.
It's either you love it or you hate it, except if you're me, in which case you do both.
Yeah. If you hate it, you just hate that you love it so much.
Yeah, pretty much. No. It's literally the repetition of the entire song, because it's just... I don't know why, but I don't feel the same way about the song This Is Halloween, because I actually really like that song.
Well, yeah. That's a classic.
Yay.
That's
Yeah.
a great movie. I should watch that movie.
I'm gonna
I know
watch
people
that.
do it. Yeah, people watch that movie around Halloween time. I should do that.
You
It's a
should.
good movie.
We all should. We should have a big Nightmare Before Christmas meeting.
Yeah, just a big watch party with Nightmare Before Christmas.
Kind of like they did with the debate.
Yeah, only with something good.
Yeah. There was
Um,
actually a debate watching party at a local
Yeah.
club.
Yeah, college campuses are huge for debate watching. I also I saw a group that was doing a watch party for that Rocky Horror Picture Show thing that was
Yeah.
on NBC or something the other night, like Thursday, I think it was. Yeah. Have you ever seen? I don't know anything about Rocky Horror Picture Show. Do you know about it? Like,
I
other
just
than the
know it's
name?
popular.
yeah, because I've seen like so much talk about it, and it seems like it has like one of those really big like cult followings.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, and it's kind of something that I want to find out, but like haven't yet. Maybe I'll watch it.
I'm lazy, you understand?
Yeah, like it's a lot of work to watch a thing.
It is.
And it's like, I think it's a musical, and as much as I love musicals, by that I mean I don't really love musicals, it's hard for me to sit through them. Like I still haven't listened to or watched Hamilton yet.
You know what? Don't you even get me started on Hamilton. All right?
Have you?
Because I don't want to listen to it.
What? Do you have like a negative opinion of Hamilton? How could you have a negative opinion of Hamilton?
It's nothing against Hamilton. Really,
oh, is it just
it's musicals. I don't like musicals.
Oh, really? Like you just don't musicals. Like them at all?
Yeah, I just don't like them.
Really? I don't like seek out to listen to them, but I respect what they do.
I just like it's a movie with singing.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's like every Disney movie minus the animation.
You should check out it's like Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog or something. It's the Neil Patrick Harris musical, but it's like a comedy musical. I heard that's really, really funny. I've seen stuff and heard some songs from it. It's actually like really funny, and I would probably listen to it and watch it if I had the time.
I will do it.
I feel like
that would Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, I feel like that would give you a better opinion of musicals. Maybe Hamilton would give you a better opinion of musicals as well. If it's really as good as I hear all the time, it must be pretty spectacular.
Okay. Like apparently like there's a bromance between like Jefferson and Hamilton, right? And from what I understand and from the vibes I've been getting, it's like it's more gay than it is bro.
How do you do you like know that fine line? Do you know where it crosses? Like even in the olden times?
Yes.
I feel like the fine line
there's a very
bro and
distinct
gay
difference
are different
between like see, this is just hearsay, all right? So like I don't know this for certain. I'm just going off by what I heard. So, you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And just correct me. But from what I heard, like there was a scene where like I don't know, Jefferson smacked Hamilton's ass or something. And I'm like, okay, that's where the line is.
You got a problem with dudes smacking other dudes' asses?
I'm not on the football team.
I mean, those are kind of unrelated sentences there.
Not really. It is apparently a thing to smack other people, like your fellow players, on the ass after a good game.
That's totally a bro thing. I mean, it depends on how it was done. Like, if he did it in slow motion with, like, while humming a Barry White tune, I could imagine it being a little homosexual. But, I mean, like, it's pretty bro. I think it's pretty bro. I think it's a bro-ish action.
You know what? It's all in the context.
Yeah.
Now, if it's in the gay context, I don't know how I feel about like literally making two of the founding fathers out to be fucking gay, but I mean, like,
well, I mean,
like you know, if that's what you want to do with it, fine, do what you want. I didn't make it.
There's rumors that like Washington, maybe not Washington. I think it was Washington. It was either Washington or Lincoln was gay. I think it was Lincoln actually. There's some
Lincoln had a wife though.
Yeah, but because that was just what you did back then. If he was actually gay, like, if you come out as gay, and whenever Lincoln was president, I'm really bad with years, but if you come out as gay, then
it was like 1861.
Yeah, then you're like suddenly this hated dude because they didn't like gay people back then at all.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, there was not really a big separation of church and state.
Yeah, so I mean, it was like if he actually was gay, he wouldn't do anything about it. It was more of a you got to settle down and get a wife and kids in order to look good in the public eye. But he might have still had some tendencies that could give the opinion. I don't think it matters, though. I don't think it would really change the world whether or not anyone from the past was gay. It's like, well, I mean, that's a little bit more of a modern example.
No.
Oh, were there rumors that Bill Clinton was gay or what?
No. It's like how you live your life doesn't exactly determine whether or not you're president.
Oh, yeah.
Like when Bill had that affair with Monica Lewinsky, did that make him a bad president? No,
plenty of other things made him a bad president.
Like no, he wasn't even a bad president. We were out of debt.
Yeah,
we weren't in debt. Then Bush reopened that wound. But yeah. I mean, Clinton just had a moment of weakness as a man. Cheated on his wife, which I can totally back up because, I mean, look at Hillary.
Because I've cheated on my wife before.
No, I mean, look at Hillary. Exist. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a face I would cheat on. I'm sorry.
That's so cruel. That's such a cruel statement. Man, that sure is one cheatable face. Whoa. That, like, hits home, dude.
How? You're not Hillary Clinton.
I know, but, like, if someone were to say that to me, like, oh my gosh, that just ruins, like, your whole self-esteem. I
Steve,
could give
why do you
the most
think I have a low
confident of people,
self-esteem?
like, could you imagine, like, if you were, like, dating this girl and you were, like, out on a date with her and one of her friends comes walking up and she's like, oh, is this your boyfriend? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, wow, that's one cheatable looking dude. You should find yourself a side piece, honey. And then walk away. Like, you are just destroyed.
Forever.
Like, yeah, like, how do you recover from that one? That's like, that's a crushing
Fatality.
blow. Jeez.
Apparently,
Well-
it's different when you talk about political figures.
Yeah. Sure.
Apparently.
Sure. We'll go with that. I don't know. I just think it's weird. It seems like every time someone's seen as good, the internet goes, "Hey, let's look up ways to say that they're not good," and most of the time, it's like ways that like don't make a difference. Like, for example, if Lincoln was gay, it wouldn't make a difference because he
Yeah.
was still Lincoln and still human, you know,
Yeah.
like gay people are.
like gay people are, because
yeah,
in
and
fact
then-
there's a word like behind gay that says people.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, you know, the people part.
Yeah.
That's still a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A more modern example is Ken Bone. I don't know if we talked about Ken Bone. I don't think we did talk about Ken Bone in the last episode.
We may have briefly mentioned Ken Bone.
I feel like we should have. You know Ken Bone though, right? You've heard about him? You've seen him?
I've never heard of Ken Bone.
You have not? You're missing out, dude. Okay,
I
so
mean-
during the second debate, did you watch the second debate at all?
No, actually.
Well, during the second debate, someone asked a question about energy, and his name was Ken Bone, and he was this big, like, chubby-looking dude in a red sweater, and he had like this really pedo-y looking mustache, and he was just the most adorable-looking dude on the face of the planet. Like, do you remember the bad guy from, what was it, Toy Story 2?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Al.
he looked like that.
He looked like
Sweater
Al
and
from
all.
Al's Toy Barn.
Yeah, that's like where his first thing got picked up, was because people were like, oh man, this Ken Bone guy looks like this guy from Toy Story 2. And then everyone was like, wait, is his name really Ken Bone? And people started freaking out. And he was like a national hero overnight. Ken Bone. And like he was being interviewed, like he was on shows, he was on late night shows, he was blowing up. And he was like this really nice guy. He seemed like a really genuine dude. But then he does an AMA on Reddit, and he didn't make a throwaway account. He used his old Reddit account that he's had for years in his AMA. So what's the first thing the internet goes and does? Searches through every single thing he's ever posted on Reddit ever. And like they were going through it specifically trying to defame this poor Ken Bone. Like,
Because he didn't
trying
do
to
anything.
Yeah, they were like, man, this guy certainly looks like America's hero. He's this nice guy. Let's look through and see if he's ever said something slightly racist in the past.
Slightly racist.
The biggest thing they found, and this is hilarious to me, is that he is, I think, into pregnant women porn, or not porn, but like pregnant women is his fetish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard weirder.
I know, right? And specifically, it was on like a picture of like a pregnant woman in like a bathing suit or something, and it was a comment from his account that just said like beautiful human submarines or something.
What?
Yeah, and so this comes out and everybody's like, wow, this Ken Bone guy is not as nice as we thought. And it's like, why not? What suddenly makes him? So what? He might be into pregnant women. That's creepy, sure, but there's probably a lot of people that you adore that are into even creepier stuff.
Yeah.
Why does it matter? He's still Ken Bone. He's still the nice, gentle giant in the red sweater that everybody loved. He's still that dude.
Can that forever be his title? The gentle giant in the red sweater?
Yeah, dude. His AMA was called the Bone Zone. That's so awesome.
I forever respect this man.
The Bone Zone. That's so great. Yeah, and then the internet goes, all right, let's find out what we can look up about this nice guy that's done nothing at all to anybody and find a way to hate him. It's like, come on, that's not fair.
That's actually
Poor guy.
like that's like one reason I seriously feel guilty about studying to be in the media, because the media will totally do this.
Yeah.
They do this all the time.
They
But
totally
see,
do.
that's like why I'm going into the media, so I can make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
leave the guy alone. If you find something creepy that like really shouldn't be there, maybe it should be well known. But like, if this guy said that he got mad at a black guy in a McDonald's drive-thru one time because he got his order wrong, let's not blow this out of proportion.
Yeah, I think another thing was that he committed insurance fraud when he was a teenager. I just remembered this because he was working for this pizza delivery place, but he didn't have car insurance, and he didn't want to lose his job. So while he was trying to get car insurance, he like forged a fake document, I think, and just used that.
I'm sure at least half of the country has done something like that, though.
That's super impressive, though, that he was able to fake it
hey, good
for
on
that
him.
long. Yeah, good on him. I mean, if Trump can be called a genius for skipping out on taxes, Ken Bone is a genius for skipping out on car insurance.
I love how, like, you know, if you ask someone if they pay taxes, and they say no, they're like, "Oh, you're a tax cheat. You're not a patriot." Donald Trump says it. Oh wow, so enlightening.
Yeah, best businessman of our time.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I mean, I don't like taxes either.
No one does.
Like, but do you see me being a hero? Well, I mean, I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard.
Yeah. Being a hero is fun. Apparently being a hero is not that fun. You know who's a great example of that? Ken Bone. He was a hero, and look what happened to him. They brought him down. I mean, they tried to. Ken Bone's still Ken Bone.
I'm gonna make a Ken Bone shrine now.
Dude, I want to be Ken Bone for Halloween, but I also know that 6,000 million people are going to be Ken Bone for Halloween. There's going to be as many Ken Bones. Dude, the 3 big costumes are Ken Bone, clowns, and the kids from Stranger Things. That's it. That's every Halloween costume. That's it.
My God.
I guarantee you that's going to make up more than like 60 to 70% of Halloween costumes. And then a good 20% are going to be things that shouldn't be sexy, but in sexy form. Yeah.
You know, I actually just looked up a photo of Ken Bone.
Oh, dude.
And
so
now
great.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
He's so great.
Because I have seen memes with Ken Bone in them.
Yeah.
That's how I know who Ken Bone is. And I love Ken Bone. Ken Bone is awesome.
He's so great.
He hasn't done anything to anyone.
Yeah, I'm not going to let some media article bring him down for me. He's still my favorite person.
Ken Bone
my favorite
is awesome.
thing of the election cycle.
Ken Bone, if you're listening, we love you.
Yeah, we love you, Ken Bone.
We
I'm going
love
to send
you.
this podcast to Ken Bone and talk about how much we love him.
Like, Ken, we love you.
You know what? Let's like not even talk about the election at all. I think we should leave off with just talking about Ken Bone and then whatever else we briefly mentioned about something that has very little to do. How cheatable Hillary's face is. Let's just leave that off. Let's not do anything seriously election related. Let's just do Ken Bone and Bill Clinton cheating on Hillary and leave it at that. I think that's the best election news we could possibly cover.
Yeah. Hillary is apparently very easy to cheat on, and Ken Bone is a hero.
Ken Bone's a superhero. Ah, man. That's perfect. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So, big news, huge news, and we wanted to, well, we didn't want to talk about sports. We said we were going to talk about sports last time, and we're going to mention it this time around because for the first time, well, not the first time, second time in our lifetimes, first time since about a year into our lives, not even, the Cleveland Indians have made it to the World Series of baseball. And all of Ohio is rejoicing, except for maybe the Cincinnati part, because the Reds were terrible.
I can do sports ball. Look at me.
We've done it. I don't care who you is. This is just as big as the Cavs making their final, except the Cavs won. Hopefully the Indians can do the same. Could you imagine, even if you don't follow sports, could you imagine 2 Cleveland sports teams winning their championships in the same year?
All I'm going to say in this case, well, 2 things. 1, I'm glad the Indians are going to the World Series. They seriously deserve it for the way they've been playing this year. But the second thing is a bit less serious. Because in my media announcing class, our professor pulled up this video. I don't know who it is. I don't know where he's from. I think, well, he's obviously from Ohio. But it was this guy who looked vaguely like a very, very ginger Rick Astley singing and dancing to a song he made and recorded about how the Indians are going to the World Series.
That's awesome.
I don't remember who it is, though.
That's so great.
All I know is the dancing kind of freaked me out a little bit because it was like very 80s-esque. The singing was good, though. He even sounded like Rick Astley.
That guy sounds awesome.
It's Rick Astley. It's Rick Astley reincarnated.
What? He's still alive.
Is he really?
Rick, did you think he was dead?
I don't know. No one talks about Rick Astley anymore.
Yeah, he made a decent amount of music after Never Gonna Give You Up, and there was like this peak of his career where his song titles were like Never Gonna Give You Up and like Favorite Girl and all these really happy things to like Why Did Your Love Break Me Down and I've Been Destroyed by Love, and it was like this really dark shift in Rick Astley's like discography, and I don't know what happened to the poor soul. I feel terrible, but it was like that was his discography. If you look it up like album for album, it's like Never Gonna Give You Up and all these happy love songs, and then just instantly just the saddest things you can imagine.
I'm gonna look this up later.
Yeah, like I haven't actually listened to the songs because I feel like I didn't want to cry at the time that I found it out. I was already close to tears just finding out that somebody broke poor Rick's heart.
Rick, no.
Yeah, poor Richard. Poor Richard Astley.
Richard Astley, that is the best.
Had his heart broken. Hopefully the music was just as good, though. I hope it didn't hurt his music. Yeah, but I was super hyped for the Indians, except for the fact that the last game, like when they won the series that night, I wasn't able to watch the game because I had a lot of homework to do. So I'm sitting in my dorm working on homework, and I saw that we won, and I was super excited. But then for the next half hour straight, my neighbors down the hall blasted Cleveland Rocks out of their room on repeat for literally a half hour. Just the whole Cleveland Rocks song, which I love the song, but at full blast for a half hour while you're trying to work on homework, I was like slightly less excited for the Indians at that time. I was sitting there like, you know what? Maybe the series could have went to game 6 or 7. You know, maybe I could have celebrated a few games from now rather than tonight of all nights. But whatever.
That my professor also, after that Rick Astley guy, he also played Cleveland Rocks.
Yeah, I mean the song is wonderful.
It's pretty good. It's the Presidents of the United States of America. I like that band.
Yeah, they're such a great band, and
good band.
It fits so well for this year because we're actually winning, except the Browns.
Are they actually from Cleveland?
Presidents of the United States? Maybe.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, that'd be a nice fact.
Gonna look it up
because I don't actually know. Well, while we're on the topic of music and you're also looking something up, I could switch over to what I'll be starting a mini series of, and this is Steven's weekly Apple Music Discover playlist review, which will probably have a shorter name in the future because this is the first time I'm saying it aloud, and that really ran on for a long time.
Found it.
Oh, are they?
No, they're in fact from the complete other side of the country. They're from Seattle.
Oh, good for them.
Okay, so here's my question: why are you writing a song about Cleveland?
Cleveland still rocks.
I mean,
just because they're not from Cleveland doesn't mean it doesn't
if
rock.
If you love Cleveland, love it, have fun.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure they also think Seattle rocks, but Seattle rocks. Seattle rocks doesn't slide off the tongue.
Rocks.
Yeah, it doesn't slide off the tongue near as well.
Yeah, you're right.
So they had to compromise for their second favorite city.
Good enough. I'm down with Cleveland.
Yeah. All right. So my weekly Discover Apple Music playlist review thing, also known as my new music mix, because I think Spotify has the word Discover. So
it does.
Yeah, so I don't think Apple Music is going to take that. I've got to figure out how I'm going to run through this, because I could just give the names of all 25 songs. But that seems like a tough time.
Give like the top 5.
I'm gonna run down the artist names, all 25 artists, and then just talk about some of my favorites and least favorites. So we got music from Johnny Swim, Tyler Glenn, Hippo Campus, Coleman Hell, Max Frost, Night Riots, Tessa Violet, Grizz, Declan McKenna, X's, Lolo, Denzel Curry, Dram, Gucci Mane, Vince Staples, Made in TYO, I don't know how to pronounce that one, Frankie, The Vamps and Matoma, not Desert, two S's, Strawberry Shortcake, Fletcher, King Charles, Frank Hamilton, Lanks, One Drop, and Cash plus David. So those are the 25 artists from this week. I didn't know, I only knew 2 names going into this week. The week before, well, I guess 3 names, but the week before I knew like a decent amount of them.
I only knew one when you were talking.
Which one?
I know who Gucci Mane is. And
I was about to say. I know of Gucci Mane. I've heard the name. This is the first time hearing
I hate his music so much.
But I knew Night Riots. They had a big song over the, I want to say 2 summers ago, maybe last summer. And then I knew Vince Staples because he was featured on Flume's album. And
when you said the X's, I actually thought of a totally different band called X Ambassadors.
Oh, I don't like them.
I actually do. I like them.
I think I just had a soured opinion of X Ambassadors because the song Renegades just was not for me.
I like that song a lot.
It was it felt like such a cheesy song to me. Like they just got a blueprint for an inspirational millennial song, and then they were like, "All right, what word haven't we used yet to describe millennials?" And they were like, "I don't know, Renegades." And oh, that sounds good. Let's toss it in there. Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. It was a decent song music-wise, but the lyrics kind of were really off-putting.
See, I've listened to music like that a lot, maybe minus that kind of genre. But I don't know, the whole thing struck a chord with me, and I thought it was okay. I mean,
yeah.
It could have been better, but, it was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad song. I just didn't have a great, opinion of them through it alone.
Through that one song.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very first impression-y with music.
I don't know, what about USS?
What is that? Another song of theirs, or is that another?
No, that's a totally different artist.
Band. Yeah, I was about to say. I've never
band,
heard them.
Artist, I don't know. I've only ever heard one song, and I only know of them because I watched an ad for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and one of their songs was in it.
That seems like a great way to get into a band. I heard them on the Call of Duty trailer.
I mean, the song, if you really listen to it, makes absolutely no sense. At all.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I mean, it was catchy. And I listened to it 3 times until I got tired of it.
So yeah, out of the 25 songs from the 25 different artists that I named off of this playlist, last week I could say, it updates on Fridays, so last week I could say I enjoyed probably close to 12, 13 of the songs, and only was kind of into 5 of them, and then didn't like maybe the other 7. So it was a decent playlist to shuffle through. This time around, I only really liked 4 of them. 4 of the songs. I was indifferent about 10 of them, and I really just didn't like 10 or 11 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was it felt like a terrible week. The songs that I liked were Night Riots' Fangs. If you haven't heard Night Riots, they're very good. I just really like Night Riots. I might actually have to pick up an album of theirs now that I've heard 2 songs and enjoyed both of them. And then Boyish by Hippocampus. I've never heard of Hippocampus, but they had a really cool sound to them.
I have vaguely heard of Hippocampus before. Their name may have popped up one time in a conversation.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah,
but
see,
I don't know if I've ever heard them before.
See, at first when you think hippocampus, that thing in your brain, but then,
But it's 2 words.
It's literal hippocampus.
Yeah, it's like a college for hippos.
So, any liberal arts college?
Yeah. Haha!
Heck.
Woo!
Heck.
And then Bitter Leaf by the artist Lanks. I've never heard of Lanks, but it gave off a Chet Faker feel. Have you ever heard Chet Faker before?
Nope.
I absolutely love Chet Faker more than the world itself. Chet Faker is one of my favorite musicians. He's really kind of a bluesy feel almost. He's really good. And this kind of had a similar sound, and I was a fan of it. And then the last one was Loco by Vince Staples. Vince Staples, I had mentioned he was on Flume's album, Flume's most recent album, which the name is escaping me right now. But if you haven't heard it, Flume is one of my favorite DJs, and I say that, and it means a lot because I don't like DJs.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that last episode. But Flume is like one of those DJs where it's like I actually want to listen to most of his music. But Vince Staples had a feature on that, and I kind of liked him in that. And then if you've heard his name before, you may have seen the video of the crazy Christian mother ranting about his song called like North North.
Called what?
North North. It's like North. He's saying North, but it's with the F because he's got like a really like strong accent in his
North.
Yeah. So it's the song.
Sounds like
I don't.
Death metal band.
It does actually. I don't know the.
And welcome to the stage, North.
Yeah, I don't remember the lyrical content of the song too much. I know it wasn't as bad as this crazy Christian woman made it sound, but she was like reading off the words, and like if you've ever heard a white woman read off a rapper's lyrics in just speaking rather than actually trying to rap, it is a spectacle. It is a really great thing to hear. Like,
it's funny.
It's so great. But she was like reading these lyrics from his song and like crying. She was talking about how awful it was and how like he was corrupting the youth, when in reality it was like she was really just listening to what he was saying. But this song Loco is really just so catchy. It's got one of those, I don't know if you've heard the song, the full song. You've probably heard the chorus of 6 Foot 7 Foot, which I believe was Lil Wayne.
Nope.
Where it kind of just has this consistent flow of lyrics. Like he's just going, like he's just consistently rapping over like a repeating track that lasts like 7 seconds, and it just repeats it over and over. So it flows like really nicely. And Vince Staples' voice is like perfect for that. And it was like this really good song that like came together, and then it has a feature from this, I think it's a girl, if the feature is the girl that I'm thinking of, named Kilo Kish. Never heard of her either. But like it's got a nice, I think she plays his Conscience in the song.
Okay.
And it's like, it's a really good song. I highly recommend Vince Staples. He might be one of my one of the rappers I will place into rappers I can truly appreciate. Which is an ever-growing list, but it's still not a great list. So it'll be nice to add more to that because, like, it's a really good song. Everything else, very bad. Let me point out some of the worst.
Just bad.
Bad. Let's see. There's a song by Denzel Curry. This is a good example of bad rap. The song, I don't want to say the name because I think it's an offensive term, but just know that it's G***K in the iTunes. So I'm not gonna say it because I don't know if it's I don't know what the word means, but it sounds offensive.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the name of the song.
It is an offensive term towards Asian people.
Yeah, it's such a bad song to me. It's like the beat was kind of too strong. It was like yelling at me. The beat, not even him, not even Denzel Curry. It was the beat that was yelling at me. And Denzel Curry sounded like he was not a very good rapper. He kind of relied on a somewhat catchy hook and just repeating himself over and over again, and it was not very good.
Here's the real question, though. Was he, like, Young Thug bad?
No, he was... You could hear what he was saying, but you kind of wish you didn't. You could understand the words, and you were like, oh, why can I understand these words? Yeah. Cash Machine by Dram. I've actually heard of Dram. He's pretty good. But the song Cash Machine was one of those songs that make you, like, kind of inspired, and then you realize exactly what he's singing about. There's a song like that last week, too, called Nudes. You can see where that song's going. But it was, like, this really, like, romantic-y sounding love song, and then you realize the whole point of the song is him trying to get nudes. And I was like, oh, that takes a lot away from the song. That makes it certainly less interesting.
You said nudes. I swear to God, I thought you said newts.
Newts? Like
newt.
Like the lizard?
Yeah.
I'd listen to a song about newts. I'm gonna write a song about newts.
See, but no. You know what? I think they already did, and they like put it in the show Cat Scratch.
Was there a song specifically about newts? I know there were newts in the show.
I remember Waffle being the king of the newts.
Yeah, there were newts in the show.
Newt!
It's a good show.
It's a funny show,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah, but Cash Machine was a song where it was like, hey, I'm successful, I don't need the approval of other people kind of song, which is a cool concept to me, but basically the whole song wasn't so much a I don't need your approval because I'm successful. It was a hey, look at me, look at how much money I got so much money I could buy anything in the world. I don't need to talk to you because I got money and you don't, you're below me. And I was like, well, that takes a lot out of the song. So
he's like Lil Wayne in this regard.
Yeah, but more in your face and less Lil Wayne.
Let's do some.
Yeah. Overall,
I just made Lil Wayne sound like a senile old man.
Yeah, Lil Wayne in the nursing home.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Overall, I was not a fan of this week. I hope next week will be better. But yeah, that's my first weekly discovered playlist, new music mix, Apple Music review playlist
thing
that I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
So what have you been listening to, Chris? Anything new from
Nothing new.
Nothing at all?
Not really. Like,
It's
you know
been
what?
A silent 3 days.
Well, not silent, but nothing. You know what? The only thing I can think of bringing up is I'm starting to use more of Pandora, and I just have this dubstep radio that I play now. But other than that, like I just forgot about all these radio stations that I had on Pandora, and they all had like the same, like they could all be the same radio station. I'm not kidding, because like there's Rise Against, Sum 41, Anti-Flag, System of a Down, and I'm like, these can all just be like summed up into one thing.
Yeah, I did that when I first used Pandora. I had like an Arctic Monkeys radio and a Cage the Elephant radio and a Black Keys radio, and I was like, they all show up on each other's radio stations. What's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Seems unnecessary.
Yeah, it is. Like, I'm thinking, I don't know how to work Pandora, but anyway, that's literally it. The only one that's different is like maybe Anti-Flag radio and this dubstep radio.
That's interesting.
By the way, if you don't know who Anti-Flag is, you should look up Anti-Flag. The lyrics the lyrics are great. The vocals are subpar, just like Bob Dylan.
Did you hear about Bob Dylan not saying anything about winning his Nobel Prize in Literature?
He won a Nobel Prize in Literature?
Yeah, he's the first musician to ever win a Nobel Prize in Literature, and he kind of doesn't care.
He's like, hey, well, you know what? When you're Bob Dylan, you don't have to care.
Yeah, and it seemed like one of the people from the Nobel Prize Academy thing was not too happy about it. Well, that wasn't they were not too happy. I think the quote was something along the lines of, "Could you see it as like ungrateful and rude or whatever?" And he was like, "Yeah, you probably could, but I mean that's just who Bob Dylan is." So he was kind of taking shots at him, but at the same time he was like, "I'm not really sure what we expected."
I mean, it's the first time a musician ever won a Nobel Prize in Literature.
Yeah, you would think oh man, they'd probably be super honored. But I mean, I'm sure he is. It's
his lyrics are very
doesn't care.
Those are very literature-like.
Yeah, he's got good literary lyrics.
Yes, literary lyrics. Man, that's a band.
Yeah. It seems
We
like
start a band called Literary Lyrics.
Yeah,
some really literary lyrics.
That's the best place to start a band from. Just the name. Do you have a genre? No, we got a name though. We're gonna work from.
You know what?
From
whenever I create a fake band, and I'm not gonna give you any of the names here because they're all really vulgar and brutal. But like you know, they sound like they should be like grindcore or death metal names. But we're like, oh no, dude, we're soft rock incorporating jazz and reggae.
Yeah, we're ska pop.
We're ska pop.
Bringing it back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if ska pop can ever be a thing.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, can you bring something back that never existed?
No. Like not only did it never exist before, but it's never going to exist because ska in itself is like pop, but it's also it's a subgenre of punk, and though there is pop punk, it's not pop enough to be really considered that.
Yeah, I saw a list of like pop punk songs, and I was like, what is pop punk supposed to be? None of these bands look like they belong in the same list.
Exactly.
But yet they're all kind of just tossed into this pop punk category.
There's like, from what I understand, there are two different kinds of pop punk. All right. There's what I call old school and new school. If you're looking at old school, pop punk could easily be considered Green Day, Blink-182, Weezer, and things of that nature. New school, you have these bands like the Wonder Years, or like Chunk No Captain Chunk. I don't know what to say about those ones. Those are...
Never heard of that.
See, those are totally out of my element. They're good, I guess, question mark, but I don't know. I think I like Blink-182 better.
Yeah, although hearing the bands Green Day and Weezer in the same grouping alone sounds weird to me.
But they're actually fairly close, because, I mean,
they're
punk and
relatively
alternative...
similar when you think about it.
What?
They're relatively similar when you think about it. But they just seem like they come from such different parts of music.
They do seem to, but at the same time, they're, like, very similar.
Yeah, because Weezer's like a bunch of nerds that sing about being nerdy and being happy and nerdy, and Green Day's like a bunch of angry, like, anarchy kind of calling for action guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you compare songs like American Idiot and Island in the Sun...
You know what?
Pretty different.
Let me take you a step further there. Saint Jimmy and In the Garage.
Yeah, those are like
my name
opposites.
is Jimmy and you better not wear it out. Suicide Commando, that and all that. And it's just in the garage. I feel safe. No one cares. And I'm like, those are very different songs.
Yeah.
It's both very good songs, but
funny how music works.
It is. It really is. But let's move on to this next topic. I really want to get into this gaming stuff.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I got some stories.
He's got stories, people.
He's
got them.
All right.
What are your stories?
In our last podcast, we touched on the relevance of D&D and stuff. And I recently got into playing it over the course of this 3 days because I didn't have work. Go me. But what happened was I had already told the group to kill off my character. So I had to remake a different character that I had from a totally different session that I was doing. And here are some of the highlights of his adventures with this group. He almost got himself killed by running into a bunch of enemies.
Nice.
He got hugged by a giant metal man.
Oh.
He vomited on the floor twice. I'll explain that. yeah, twice.
Ooh.
And now he has some serious PTSD issues.
From the vomit?
No, from the last campaign, because, okay, so the character's name is Novus Talaron, and he comes from this other thing that I was doing. And, in that campaign, he had a year to live because he really pissed off the DM. And, the Deus Ex Machina of that campaign, his name was Steven. No kidding.
Yeah.
But no. Listen. The Deus Ex Machina's name was Steven. He only knew the word Steven.
Yeah.
He had a magic shop called Steven.
Yeah.
And now, whenever my character has, a serious mental breakdown, he'll just start rubbing his arms, freaking out, just, Steven.
I'm glad I'm so heavily put into this D&D session that I'm not a part of in any way, shape, or form.
But when he's not freaking out, he does have a verbal tick. Not, at just moments, he'll just be, Keck.
Oh.
Keck.
That's an interesting...
I don't know. I was just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck. And all of these things have stuck so far. But let me go into the vomiting on the floor bit.
It seems like an interesting story to tell.
Yeah, so, in case you didn't know, our listeners, the way you, do anything in D&D, except for maybe move and literally speak, is you roll a 20-sided die. If you roll a 1, there's no way, even if you have modifiers, there's no way you're getting rid of that 1. The worst thing that can happen to you happens. So I was trying to talk to this guy that we just met, and trying to convince him that we're okay. I roll a 1 and I vomit on the floor. Then he starts bad-talking my friend, and I was gonna do the same kind of check to make him stop. I roll another 1, and I vomit on the floor again.
Wow, that's pretty positive.
Now he just thinks I'm a loser.
That seems like even in real life, I feel like that's a possibility, and it would just be great. Like, I feel like there could be an entire like sitcom episode dedicated around just, let's meet this new guy. Hey, how you doing? We're a bunch of cool guys from.
No,
sorry about
I didn't
that.
even get to say anything. I just went.
Just, oh, nice.
Like,
Open your mouth.
It was bad.
No words in here.
No words
Just
in here.
lunch.
Just vomit.
Yeah.
And actually, like, Tim, the DM, he was gonna like just have me just kind of stop talking, but then I just thought of the phrase "word vomit," which is just blah 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 blah. So I'm like, wait, why go with word vomit when I can go with actual vomit? Let's just make it worse.
Yeah.
Because if something bad's
Go all
gonna
out.
happen and it's not gonna hurt me physically, I'm gonna do it because it's gonna be really funny.
Yeah, just go all out. Make it happen.
Let's see what else happened. Oh yeah, the metal man that I mentioned. He actually caused us to skip an entire puzzle because like there was this big wall in front of where we were supposed to be, and there was a big puzzle on it, right? And he's like, I'm gonna grapple the wall and try to pull it down. Walks over, rolls a 20, pulls the wall down.
Wow.
Just okay, let's go. We're leaving.
Yeah, that's one way to make it happen.
I was like, we're leaving, let's go.
Brute force. Brute
Yeah,
metal
brute
force.
When nothing else, like when all else fails, brute force.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the majority of the D&D story, except for the fact that as soon as I got in the game, this, the one female that we have playing with us, her character apparently flirts with everybody.
Ah.
And I was just sitting there, what do I do here? I don't know. This is weird. My character has PTSD. He's not used to female contact like this.
Yeah. Taps him on the shoulder. He just hits him with a solid uppercut. Ah!
No,
Oh,
it's just
sorry
left
about that.
hook.
Yeah. My bad.
Smack. Sorry, I'm not used to this.
That's your fault. You tapped me on the shoulder.
Because I have issues.
Yeah. Tap for tap. You tap my shoulder, I tap your face with my fist.
With an incredibly large amount of force.
Yeah. With about 150 times more force than yours. But yeah. It happens.
But yeah, moving on from the tabletop RPGs, I want to talk about and kind of endorse this game that I've been playing. There was a Flash game version on armorgames.com, and there was apparently a mobile game to it as well, because you actually apparently need the mobile game to, I guess, finish the story. The game is called Lone Wolf. It's like a sniper game that you would find, anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But the story is a little bit more involved. There's more guns to be had. And the way they actually do it on the mobile version is you can do as many missions as you can, but if you retry, they take away one of your ammo, and you have like 10 per goings on, I guess. 5 minutes you get another one. But that's kind of how they limit that, except if you get premium, which costs like $2, but you get like all the guns.
Like any mobile game.
Yeah, no, but like you get all the guns, all the attachments, unlimited ammo, 25,000 credits.
Wow.
So yeah, you pay $2 for all that, and that's not a bad deal if you ask me, but it's not something I'm opting for. I'm still stuck on like one of the last missions, and it's actually really making me angry.
So it's just like a basic, like 3D sniper kind of game?
Not even 3D. It's
Oh, really?
like, have you ever played like Clear Vision?
No, I'm not very knowledgeable on the sniper game market.
All right, well, go and play like any of the Clear Vision games, the Sniper Assassin games, and the Sift Heads series, especially like the original ones, because those were all sniper based. Because all it is, it's like a point and click. You just have to like find the target, align the crosshairs, and then just click, and you kill the target.
Huh.
But
Yeah. Seems like a pretty good game.
The mission I'm stuck on is actually really giving me a headache, because the way I'm doing it, you're like 1,000 meters out and you actually have to like calculate bullet drop and wind. And see, the problem is 1,000 meters is like really down on the scope.
Yeah.
And they're really far away, so you have to get like that really perfect alignment. There are 5 people, and you have to make sure none of them see each other die.
That seems very difficult, actually.
It is very difficult. I've been wrapping my mind around this, and I can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
I've tried at least 20 times.
Yeah, I played Sniper Elite V whatever for PlayStation 3,
Sniper
I think
Elite
it was.
V2?
Yeah, I played that. That's my experience with the actual sniper games.
That's a
And
yeah.
I could imagine a mission like that in Sniper Elite would be all kinds of frustrating.
I have Sniper Elite 3, so I know what you're talking about.
Is that the one where you can shoot Hitler's nuts off?
No, I think you can do that in Sniper Elite V2, actually.
Oh yeah, it might have been. Oh yeah, it was the DLC in V2.
It was the DLC. I think there's something in 3 where, I don't know, it's like a DLC where you can do something like that.
Just like that Hitman DLC where you assassinate Gary Busey.
There's a Hitman DLC where you can assassinate Gary Busey.
Yeah, it's in the new one, or the newest one. I don't know if it's a DLC or if it was like a weekly challenge thing. I just know that for a period of time, a bunch of people were assassinating Gary Busey.
Just kill Gary Busey. Gary Busey!
Yeah, why not? Of all the people.
Yeah, like, why Gary Busey? I mean, he's funny.
Yeah, that seems like such a reach.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I respect it.
Like you could have done, like, I don't know, Tom Cruise or Adam Sandler. No, you had to go for Gary Busey.
Oh, I would assassinate Adam Sandler.
I know you would.
Oh, speaking of Adam Sandler, since we're talking about terrible comedians, terrible comedians that are successful for all the weirdest reasons. We talked about Dane Cook a little bit on last episode, and today I was watching YouTube videos and I was about to turn my PlayStation off, and I got a recommended video of a Dane Cook stand-up, like a small joke from a stand-up set like 8 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I gotta watch this. Because I have not watched a whole lot of Dane Cook in my lifetime. And by that I mean never. I've only seen his face. I've never actually seen his performance. And the whole joke was like perfect Dane Cook at his finest. Most of the jokes were not funny. Like, most of the pieces of the joke were not funny for any reason other than him screaming it or saying it in his weird Dane Cook accent. And the crowd would, like, laugh and cheer, and I was sitting there, and I'm like, what was funny? He didn't say anything funny. It was like I was watching, like, an entire episode of The Big Bang Theory, but the laugh track had faces to them. It's like, they didn't even say anything funny there. Why are you laughing? But I could actually look the people in the face and say, why are you guys laughing? Stop laughing. This isn't funny. But I guess the joke as a whole actually did kind of make me laugh, and I respected it. Because to explain the joke very briefly and cutting out all of the Dane Cookiness of it, it was something about he was on a bus, and this guy sneezed in his face, and he said, "God bless you."
Oh,
and
yeah,
the guy
the atheist
responded
joke.
with, "Yeah, oh, I'm an atheist."
I'm an atheist,
But
yeah.
how it ended with, it ended by him saying, like, I hope, because the guy said he wanted, when he died, he would be, like, fertilizer and then reborn into a tree, because his
Yeah.
body would go into the earth. And then he goes, well, I hope when you're a tree, some guy comes running over, and he cuts your tree down, and he drags you over, and he puts you in a sawmill, and he cuts you up, and you get made into paper, and then in that paper, that's where the Bible is printed. And I started laughing. I legitimately laughed, and I was like, all right, that was pretty well thought out.
Yeah.
That was a good joke. But it was, even, like, leading up to that, it was just like, you could have done that so much less enthusiastically, and I might have liked it, but it felt like you were yelling at me. Just like that one rap song from my Discover playlist.
No,
the beat was
one thing I
the beat was
remember
yelling at
Dane
me.
Cook. Dane Cook made a very minor appearance in American Dad once, because like Steve eventually just stopped caring what other people thought of him and what he had to say, and it's like Steve runs up to people, "I hate you, you suck," and then runs up onto a Dane Cook stage. "I don't care what anybody says. You're hilarious."
Yeah, that's where the world is now. If you
Loki
think-
hating on Dane Cook.
Yeah, I am a Trump supporter and also love Dane Cook's comedy. Woo! And then you have no friends. Yeah, that's the funniest joke ever told. You're a Trump supporter that enjoys Dane Cook's comedic stylings. It's like, you just can't win, can you? You just can't win with your opinions.
0 for 2.
Yeah. I would try to come up with like other examples of awful things you could do, but I can't. Oh, here's the best one. Milk and then cereal.
Kill yourself.
Yeah, if you're a Trump supporter
no.
that also enjoys Dane Cook stylings and also puts the milk in before the cereal, I mean, like, you should be in a museum somewhere. You are a national treasure because you just hit every terrible thing you could possibly hit.
You're missing one.
Good for you.
You're missing one.
What would that be?
You eat pizza crust first.
Oh,
it's
gosh.
not stuffed crust.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Oh.
If it was stuffed crust, I
it's
understand.
So weird.
Stuffed crust, I get it. I really do. But if it's not stuffed crust, then don't just stop. Go to another planet.
How are you living your life so wrong? How are you missing out on so many easy things you could be doing? Gosh. Like not listening to Dane Cook. Hold on, I have to confirm something. Because I do this and I'm like, it's like split 50-50. When you're taking like a pill or something, do you put the water in your mouth first or the pill?
I do the water first.
Yes, okay. Good, because, I'm not alone.
No, see, the thing is, because I tried the pill and then the water thing, and it doesn't work for me.
It's so weird. I have a very sensitive mouth, so...
Same. So I get where you're coming from.
Mouth, as Dane Cook would say. I have a sensitive mouth.
Mouth.
He actually said mouth, and I laughed. That was the funniest part of the whole thing, because I just prematurely knew that word would be funny if he said it.
Well, yeah. Let's start wrapping this up, because we're reaching about the hour point. So
right.
just a few offhand things before we end the show tonight. One thing I seriously want to talk about is I brutally currently hate tech support people. They need to. Okay, first of all, they need to stop using AI to do their work, because listen, I just got a new printer, right? Okay, I get a wireless printer in my house, and we're trying to hook it up to the desktop, and it's just, because we're talking to people at Best Buy, and we're like trying to hook it up to the desktop, but apparently our desktop is like too freaking old to hook up to this thing, so we tried to hook it up to my laptop. That works. But seriously, like the first guy we talked to, he was helpful, and I thank you. But that second guy that I never spoke to at all, but was like fully online text communication, I hope and pray that you do not reproduce.
Yeah, especially if you're AI. That would create some kind of weird iRobot situation.
That would bring about some issues.
Yeah. Tech support's interesting. I have to make a quick interjection because I said the word iRobot and it made me think. Was I Am Legend just iRobot with zombies?
I never saw iRobot.
You never saw iRobot?
Well, I saw I Am Legend.
Imagine I Am Legend with robots. That's pretty much what it was. I just made that connection in my head. I'm sure I've made it before, but they both start with I. They both have Will Smith in them, and they're both about something that's not humans taking over.
I mean, that sounds vaguely right.
Yeah, I like just made that connection in my head when I said iRobot. And
does Will Smith have a freak out in iRobot?
I'm sure he does. I think so. I've seen both, and I think he did.
I like I Am Legend a lot.
I'm sure the I Am Legend freak out was much more severe, but he certainly was not happy about the robots.
Well, I mean, he did have like an M4.
Yeah. I don't think he had an M4 in iRobot.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, I wanna make a bit of an advertisement, a self promo, I guess.
Self promo.
Yeah, of 2 weeks from today, November 5th, I think that is.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
2 Saturdays from today. My brother and I, for the last 3 years, I think, maybe 2. It's certainly been 2, might have been 3, have participated in the Extra Life charity event that is run, I know Giant Bomb's a part of it. I don't know if they actually have a stake in it or if they're just one of the big donors. But it's for St. Jude, and it's playing video games to raise money for charity. And so 2 weeks from today, November 5th, we're not sure of the start time yet. I'll probably update. I'll talk about this more on the next upcoming podcast, so I'll reference it again. My brother and I will be doing a 24-hour live stream for charity. I'll have a link in future descriptions as soon as I have one cemented. And yeah, anyone that'll be around that can, well, let's just give ourselves sleep deprivation and also, donate some money if you can to help out the kids. That'd be awesome. So, yeah, thought I'd throw that little self-promo out there. And
Good stuff.
probably throw it out a few more times in the future.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps it up for us.
Let's do one more thing before we head out.
And what would that be?
So I want to just talk about the television. It's just going to be a quick 1-2 minute thing. I want to talk about one of the things I'm following, not totally religiously, but something vaguely religiously. But I'm really excited for the next Walking Dead season to come out, because I'm literally, like, almost tearing my hair out wondering who Negan beat to death with a baseball bat. Like,
When does that come out?
like this week?
Is it Sunday? Like tomorrow, or is it next week?
No, I don't know. No, it's like this coming week.
It comes out on Sundays, though, right?
Maybe. It might be tomorrow. I'm not... Actually, I think it is tomorrow. But
I'm gonna
it
fact
might be
check
the Sunday afterwards. But what I can tell you for sure is that there are, like, a bunch of characters that I hope didn't die. Like Daryl, of course, because I like Daryl. Rick,
Yeah.
because I like Rick. Abraham, because Abraham is awesome.
Abraham's the ginger guy, right?
Yeah. I like that guy.
If I had to guess, I think he's gonna die.
I don't want him to die because he's, like, so cool. But, like...
I was having discussions on that, and he seemed like the most likely one to die.
Yeah, except maybe Eugene.
I feel like that wouldn't be ground shaking enough.
I
I feel like that'd be a really lame
No, you
drop
know who would
off.
be really ground shaking, like minus Glenn?
Yeah,
Maggie.
it would be one of them, one of the Glenn, Maggie, Daryl, Rick.
No,
Carl.
you know why Maggie, though, right?
Isn't she pregnant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be horrible. But, like, I
Yeah.
don't think, like, here's the thing. I don't think they're going to kill Rick because he's, like, the main focus.
Clearly.
I don't think they're going to kill Daryl.
Yeah.
They might try to kill Glenn but fail.
Sure. Oh, if he doesn't kill anyone, that would be...
That would be great.
Because in the
no,
comic
there was a
book,
scene
in the comic
where
book,
it was, like, in a first-person view of him smacking someone.
yeah, in the comic book, Negan kills Glenn. That's who dies in this
Yeah,
exact
I know.
scene in the comic book. But
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to follow the comic book all the
No,
time.
they haven't yet.
Yeah.
But, well, they've, like, slightly done that.
Yeah, they're not going to piece for piece follow the
But,
comic book.
let's see, who else? Michonne is a very likely
That'd
candidate,
be
I think.
really weird if it was Michonne. I would not be able to stomach that very well. It seems like you'd be losing a really key character.
See, like, I like Michonne. I like her character development. She's really good. But it wouldn't surprise me that they would see her as an expendable character.
Yeah.
Kind of like Abraham.
Yeah, I think Abraham's the most likely. I stopped watching the show about a season or two ago. But if I had to take my outside looking in guess, I would say Abraham is
Like,
my
I
likely
think he's the
candidate.
most likely, but, like, there's that shrivel of hope inside of me. He's like, don't kill Abraham. I like him.
Yeah. I stopped watching before I think Eugene was still, or no, it was just after Eugene said that he wasn't who people thought he was.
Yeah.
It was like just after that, because I think that was like nearing the end of the season that I stopped watching.
Yeah, and then he got punched in the face a lot.
Yep. So he's good from that. I never actually found
No,
out if
he's
he was
fine.
okay.
He's fine.
Because he seemed super dead after that.
No,
that
he wasn't
beatdown.
dead, but he was knocked out pretty cold.
Yeah. I did not know it was going to happen to the poor boy.
No,
He
he's
got
okay.
beat down. It
He's
seems
okay.
like it is tomorrow. I looked it up while you were talking. New episode comes on tomorrow, which is good because I was gonna say, we could just
What
talk
time?
about 9. Yeah, 9. Tomorrow at 9.
Yes!
Yeah, I was gonna say, we could just talk about it next episode, but it looks like we can't because it is gonna be on tomorrow. So I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, if you're a Walking Dead fan, you're about to have all your questions answered tomorrow. So good for you.
And unfortunately,
I can't
have
imagine
to work
living through.
tomorrow.
Ooh, unlucky. I
Yeah,
can't
I have
imagine
to work,
through
but I
living
get to
through
watch the
such
show like right afterwards, so I'm happy.
such a cliffhanger. Like I don't think any of the shows that I watch have had such a cliffhanger of like, well, 2 seconds into this episode, a character's probably going to be dead. Yeah. Well, that'll be an exciting moment.
Yeah. All right.
Well, now I think that about wraps us up. We are
Yep.
just over in the hour 5-minute-ish mark. So I think that's a good stopping point for sure. We'll be back next week sometime.
Right.
We don't have a set schedule.
And remember to tune into That Seems Unfortunate next time.
Yeah. See you guys. Thanks
Later.
for listening. Yeah.